ये भैया बताइए वैक्सीन कब आएगी?
दो तीन तो वैक्सीन है जिसमें प्रॉमिस है। एक तो अमेरिकन वैक्सीन है, एक तो चाइनीज वैक्सीन है, ऑक्सफोर्ड का एक तो वैक्सीन है। तीनों प्रॉमिसिंग लग रहा है। आई डोंट नो विच वन विल वर्क। हो सकता है कि ऑल ऑफ देम, हो सकता है एक निकल जाए, आई डोंट नो। लेकिन आई एम वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट कि वैक्सीन कहीं ना कहीं से नेक्स्ट ईयर तक आ जाएगा और वर्क करेगा। एंड देन इंडिया हैज टू हैव अ प्लान, क्योंकि इंडिया के लिए कितना 50 करोड़ वैक्सीन, 60 करोड़ वैक्सीन जरूरत पड़ेगा। And so India has to have a plan for how do you have that much vaccination available once it becomes possible. So that's an area where has to be a lot of focus. The other thing I will say, Rahul, that I think is very important is we are entering an age of pandemics. I am confident that this is not the last large global pandemic you and I are going to see in the next 20 years.
Why do you say we're entering an age of pandemics? What is the structural reason?
Yeah, so many things have happened that have made this. So we got lucky that in the 2009 H1N1 swine flu that ended up being not so bad, even though it was a global pandemic. So what's different now than, let's say, 20 years ago? You've actually touched on several of these. Globalization, right? And so a virus that gets started somewhere spreads globally very quickly. Second is big environmental changes. All of this economic growth that China and India and many other places have had, which has been wonderful for lifting people out of poverty, has also meant encroachment into deforestation, encroachment into areas where there were more animals. And most pandemics, most disease outbreaks in humans, new ones, are jumps from animals to humans, right? So this virus has existed in bats, but there was a small change probably in the genome, and then all of a sudden it became suitable for human hosts. So I think climate change is going to make many of these things all much worse. And then, of course, the other thing that has happened with economic growth is people are eating a lot more meat. And so that also means more interactions between humans and animals. Put all of it together. If you look at the last 100 years, you can see increasing frequency of these kinds of outbreaks. And this one, of course, is the worst in 100 years. But I am confident that we're going to have more global pandemics in the upcoming years and decades. And so as we get through this one, we have to ask ourselves, how are we going to better prepare for the next one?
Thank you. Lovely chatting.